Hello there, welcome to another Allotment Dram. It's the mini-series where we sit and talk about whisky within the surroundings of our allotment up in North London. And today, it's been slightly overcast, but it's been very dry, the last few days. And it's going to be very dry for the forthcoming sort of week or so. So made sure everything's well watered, done some weeding, planted some winter veg as well, that will hopefully be ready. The idea is they're ready for like Christmas dinner, so things like cauliflower, swede, etc. planted today as well. But of course I am here for the Allotment Dram, and that's what you're all here to see. And today I've picked an independent bottling. It's the Scarabus, which is from Hunter Laing, and this is a Islay single malt, and it's from an unnamed distillery. There's no distillery called Scarabus, on Islay. So it's no age statement and an unnamed distillery. So of course everyone will naturally try and guess what distillery it might be. But what does Scarabus mean? Scarabus means rocky place in Old Norse, and there's a lot of places on Islay that have this sort of Nordic sort of name, sort of heritage. The Vikings hit the east coast of Scotland, then went across the top through Orkney, over the top of Scotland, down through the Hebrides, and then finally over to Ireland. So all through the Hebrides and Islay as well, there's these sort of names that have trace back to sort of Nordic language, and it means rocky place. And it also refers to, it's quite apt actually, because Hunter Laing have built a distillery on Islay. It's the most recent one, opened a couple of years ago or so, and it's called Ardnahoe, and that sits right on the top of a cliff, and it is a very rocky place actually. I've been there, and you look across, it's a stunning view, but right across the Sound of Islay, which is the very narrow strip of sea, very fast flowing actually, that goes between Islay and Jura. So you are literally on the top of this very rocky cliff, looking over the Straits of Islay, and then the sort of Jura beyond, and the Paps of Jura, the very famous mountains there. But so that's a little bit about why it's called that. But you can see from it, it's quite pale. This sort of almost like probably slightly deeper than a lemon yellow, but not quite golden there. So very vibrant. Let's have a sniff. Yeah, so as you would expect from a fairly young Islay whisky, it's pretty feisty, it's pretty full on. There's lots of peat smoke here, and lots of this sort of peppery, earthy, slightly ashy, bonfire-like smoke. But there's also some sweetness as well. I'm getting a lot of sweet cereals, almost like bittersweet, sort of malty cereals. So let's have a taste. Yeah, and that really recreates what's on the nose. You get all this peat, bang, straight up front, and quite drying, sort of ashy peat, but with a bit of pepper and a bit of almost like chili or something like that to it. And then you get this lovely, sort of quite earthy, malty-like sweetness. Let's have another taste. Yeah, it's a little hard to pinpoint, but it is a little bit like a sort of oaty biscuit, those oat cakes that you have with cheese sometimes. Yes, and then some sort of honey, almost like golden syrup-like sweetness, which just kind of holds everything together, because otherwise it would be quite difficult. But yeah, it's really sort of great release from Hunter Laing. We reviewed it on the blog some time ago, and it made our top 10 whiskies of 2019 on the blog, because it also represents very good value for money. It's £35 to £40 range, You know, so you get a lot of whiskey for your money for that. You know, very, very good. So, you know, if you like your big peaty whiskies, you know, on the younger side, you know, definitely search this out, because, you know, this is well worth a try. And, you know, delicious, multi-layered, and very, very peaty. So from me and the Scarabus, till next time, cheers.